Let me provide you with an example. After I used to be just getting started, accustomed be within the property business, which I went to teach these classes at local course centers. They were community centers that had catalogs filled with programs that individuals could take. But there I had a course about understanding complicated home mortgages, not precisely the simplest acceptable that picture. I want to be more just one of these things is different from the other program option. Anyway, these places channel thousands of catalogs and people meet up to attend whatever classes they have. Looking back now, it had been such a disaster. You'd get some of people at each class, but it absolutely was never over 10 people. One day, I had one in every of my classes and, get this, a grand total of 1 person showed up. So brutal, but it ended up being a desirable evening. You have to know, this was a difficult time on behalf of me. I wasn't making any money and was giving these courses to try and do and find new clients. Those who showed up were possible clients on behalf of me. So coming in and finding 1 person within the space, well, at the time, it just sounded like all the failures in my life were sitting right there all together, those empty chairs. It had been awful. So there he was, this one guy. Now, I've met many yoga instructors. I've even dated 1 or 2. And from my experience, I can tell you that just about all of them are struggling to make ends meet. I mean, some do better than others, but they're generally not rolling in cash. You recognize what I mean? Well, this guy was a definite story. Keep in mind that there are only 2 people within the area, Howard and me, so I did my session, but we ended up talking about all sorts of stuff. This guy was at a low amount of a neighborhood celebrity, a minimum of within the yoga world. And he was attending my course because he had form of investment properties and wanted to seek out more about property financing. A yoga instructor with multiple investment properties? Given my dating experience, investment property management didn't come up in conversation fairly often, so suffice it to say, I won't to be baffled. Turns out, this guy did lots quite just teach yoga. And these retreats weren't cheap either. They cost thousands of dollars, which they were featured right there on his website homepage. He had written some books too, all about the yoga lifestyle, which they were featured on his website yet. So, who knew? When he first said he was a yoga instructor, I didn't say it aloud, but in my head, I dismissed him as just another hokey left-wing meditation type with tired Birkenstocks and an excessive amount of hair, altogether the wrong places. I pictured someone teaching yoga at the studio down the road, nothing more. But when he told me about these retreats, and also the books, my whole perspective changed. This guy was a guru. And taking my course, because it clothed, wasn't his first brilliant idea. Bottom line, this guy was an expert, an authority. In social dynamics theory, they discuss frames. A frame is your point of reference once you interact with someone. Well, my frame completely changed. When he first said yoga instructor, I had 1 frame, at a low frame, a short-sighted one. But when he told me about the retreats and books, I immediately shifted into a replacement frame, a far bigger frame.